Bad news bears. You are witnessing the very first time that I'm really taking public transportation. The insane asylum is closed today. And we said, you know what? Public transportation for what? For what? We have feet. There are actually people that are buried under the floor inside the parish. Crazy, right?
That means that Thomas Jefferson would have sat there when he was a student in William and Mary.
He's youngin'. He ain't rapping.
It's an awesome view of the governor's palace from here. Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name is Chris and we're glad you came along for the adventure today. Today, we are spending some time in Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia. If you don't know a whole lot about Colonial Williamsburg, then we hope you stick along because I think this is going to be a pretty sweet adventure. We have some collectible medallions. I think we're going in on a medallion today. Which one you want? You got Robertson's Windmill. You got the Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia Golden Eagle, and then looks like soldiers with a trumpet and drums.
No.
You want a Golden Eagle. So it says select 2 coins. So let's do. I guess I got 3 of them. And which one's the other one? We got the Golden Eagle. We got the Williamsburg. You want the windmill or you want the soldiers? I want the windmill. There we go. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. All right, we are headed to the bus to take us over to Williamsburg. Fun fact, the bus is free. I don't know how much stuff we're gonna be able to get into today because it's pretty hot. And they said some of the stuff might be closed. So we're gonna head over there now. Let's go check out Colonial Williamsburg. No, don't leave! Oh, man. Oh, I think we just got lucky. They're gonna let us on the bus. You are awesome. Thank you so much. So you can actually walk from the visitor center into Colonial Williamsburg if you want to. They said it takes roughly about like 10-15 minutes to walk to the courthouse, I believe. But then, you know, you can walk around from wherever you want. So if you don't want to take the bus, you can walk in. It's like 100 degrees today in Virginia. It is toasty. So we're not going to walk. We opted to take the bus. It's free. Not sure if I said that already. And they run every 10-15 minutes through. So yeah, we're just cruising on the bus. We're going to head into Colonial Williamsburg and see what we can check out. Maury just mentioned, fun fact, you are witnessing the very first time that I'm really taking public transportation. Never taken a public transportation bus before, except for when we went to Puerto Rico, I believe, from Baltimore. We had to take a bus and a parking garage to the airport and back to the parking garage. And that was a disaster. All right, well, first stop is Governor's Palace, and we said, you know what? Public transportation for what? For what? We have feet, and we're gonna use them. We're gonna cruise around here, check out the Governor's Palace in Williamsburg, and see what else there is to offer. There's so much here in Colonial Williamsburg. If you're not familiar with Williamsburg, it's pretty famous for like one or two things. You know, comment down below if you know what Williamsburg's famous for. If not, you know, there's also Jamestown and Yorktown. It's the kind of historical triangle. Definitely pretty cool. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at, folks. This here's like their garden stable area, I believe. Not sure if we found the schoolhouse or the church. There it is. Not as small. To be fair, there was not as many people back in the day. Leave a comment down below. Is this the school? Or is it the church? I don't see desks, I just see pews. But, yeah, I don't know. Comment down below. You know, the internet knows everything. Here is an original freight wagon from the 1800s. Kind of gives me like Oregon Trail vibes. Pretty neat. It's like a little garden area of the Governor's Palace. Definitely a nice area. Okay, it opens up to be a little bit of a bigger garden. Yeah, it's very nice. It's really pretty. Looks like out here they do shows every once in a while. I was already warned that there may not be a lot of shows today just because of the heat. I didn't want to bring everybody out here all dressed up. I can appreciate that because I am not all dressed up and it's scorching. This area in here is kind of like the main street that leads up to the Governor Palace. It's pretty cool. The unfortunate thing is I think we need tickets to get in some of this stuff. And we don't have tickets. We don't have tickets because at the information center they were saying that there might not be a lot of things open due to the heat. But it turns out now that we're here, there's some things open. All right, so rumor has it any one of these buildings that has a flag in front of it means that you have to pay to go into it or you need a ticket. and the tickets were roughly like right around $50 for the day. But that does give you access to all the buildings. However, they do have some merchant shops and some taverns and stuff, and we might go ahead and check that out now because they're free. It's hot. Who doesn't want to drink, something to eat? I think we're gonna head there now. All right, well, we just took the bus down the Merchant Square. Here they have a lot of nice shops down here, some eateries, so we're gonna walk around here and check out some things. Honey, the cheese shop.
What?
Looks like we found a seafood restaurant and tap house grill called Barrett's. I think we're gonna go check that out. Call me crazy, but we might go see something a little insane here in a few minutes.
5 hours later.
All right, well, Barrett's Tap House and Grill. Food was all right. Food was all right. Service subpar. Took a while to get stuff. Overall, yeah, maybe an 8 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. So the crazy thing that we were talking about, we're gonna go see right now. And when I tell you it's crazy, it's pretty crazy. So fun fact, what you're looking at right there is the original insane asylum from Williamsburg. Let's see if we can go inside of it. Supposedly there's kind of like a museum inside. Let me see if we can check it out. A lot of history there though. Bad news bears. The insane asylum is closed today.
It's a big house.
So we're not going to go in the insane asylum. Crazy, right? Crazy. I know. We're not going to be able to go inside, but there's still a lot more Williamsburg to explore. Let's go check it out. Fun fact, there is an art museum that is on the other side of the insane asylum that you can go to. Kind of all of that is included in the ticket price if you get tickets. Again, we didn't get tickets today, but definitely something I think we're going to look into the next time we come here. Williamsburg is just flooded with history. This whole area around here is just absolutely flooded with history. As you can see right here, they are restoring one of the homes. And that's pretty cool. This was the Williamsburg Bray School. And it looks like they are now restoring that to the original parents from the 1760s. So if you come to Williamsburg within the next, I don't know, maybe year or so, check it out. It's pretty cool. It's the archaeological site for the First Baptist Church. One thing that's really cool around this area, not in Williamsburg, at least to my knowledge, but Jamestown, they do have live archaeological digs going on where you can interact with them. Not here today though. So this building right behind me here is actually the African American Meeting House, which is right across the street from the First Baptist Meeting House that they're restoring. One of the cool things that a lady here had told us is, you know, if you're walking down these streets, you know, even if they do have a flag on it, like you're able to kind of walk around the buildings and check out their gardens, and the gardens in all of these places are very beautiful. So one thing to check out if you come here and you're walking around and you're like us that do not have tickets, walk down the streets, check out all the cool buildings, check out the gardens. A lot of fun. This building's right over here. It's a joiner house. And that is a gardener's home. You see a pretty nice sized garden over here. And this is the Brunton Parish Church Cemetery.
This is the cemetery.
Here lies the body of Mr. Joseph Scrivener, who was born in Oldney in Buckinghamshire in England and died here the 14th of October 1772 in the 15th year of his age. Only 15 years old. Mr. Joseph Scrivener. I won't lie to you. That is kind of creepy.
This building, I just said, was finished in 1715, and we've been worshiping here ever since. We have 3 services Sunday morning and 1 Sunday evening during the school year. We had the evening service primarily geared to William and Mary students. The interior, as it is today, we think is what it looked like in the colonial period. There were no photographs, obviously, in 1715, and nobody did a drawing of the interior. So there was a lot of research done when the building was restored in the 1920s and 30s, looking at other buildings about the same time, constructed about the same time. So we think this is accurate, except for one thing that is original, and that's this balcony. Come on in, and it's where the student body of William and Mary sat when they came. And they had to be in church every Sunday as students at the college up the street. That means that Thomas Jefferson would have sat there when he was a student in William and Mary. We don't know where exactly he sat, but it would have been up there. The seating would have been a bit different. These pews would have faced each other, and there would have created a pew box, so that and the reason for this is just a very practical one. There was no heating and obviously no air conditioning in the 18th century, but there was no fireplace or stove either. And so folks would bring from home something like this. It had heated bricks or stones from their fireplace and put it down in the center of the pew box and close the door and stay warm for the couple of hours they were going to be here on Sunday morning.
Wow. That's neat.
Yeah. The names on the pews don't indicate that these folks sat in this particular spot, but they all worshiped here if their names are on a pew.
Wow.
Behind me are 2 pews of equal size, equal footprint. This one looks smaller because it's all full of furniture, you see. This one is the pew of the Royal Governor of Virginia. He was the King's appointee. He represented the interests of the Crown in the colony of Virginia. He was joined by 12 persons, 12 men appointed by the King to be his privy council, his council of advisors. They also were appointed, never elected. The governor, whose position was appointed by the king, who was never elected. The clergy sat opposite. Their pew was the same size, but the major difference is that the floor and the clergy pew is about 7 inches taller than the floor in the governor's pew. That's because the authority of God is always greater than the authority of the king. They represented the interests of God in the colony. In the seats to my right and left sat the members of the House of Burgesses. They were elected, not appointed, they were elected to represent the interests of the people. So there was an inherent tension that's reflected in the architecture of the building. And that tension is about the conflicting interests of the crown, the people, and the church. And that came to a head in the conflict that we know as the American Revolution. Many of the heavy players in the Revolution were members of this church. They attended this church. The first 4 pews in the front are named for presidents of the United States who attended this church, were members of the church, were active in the spiritual life of the community, the social life of the community, and the political life of the colony. All of the seats behind me were occupied by government officials. This was the state church. We in America are very proud of the separation of church and state, but in the colonial period in Virginia, there was no separation between church and state. You did not have to attend the King's Church. Hi. Good. Hi. You didn't have to attend the King's Church. You could attend a dissenting church, but everybody paid taxes to support the King's Church. That was because the King's Church did more than just church work. They were in charge of all the social work. They were in charge of building and maintenance of roads and bridges. They built hospitals, and they did all the social work. Regardless of where someone attended church, they were in Virginia. It was the King's Church that was responsible to God and to the King for the welfare of the people. The seating in this area was for the House of Burgesses and the 2 wings. The 2 pews are equal in size. This is the pew of the royal boat. Is that in the British area?
That parish is awesome. It is really nice. I'd asked a gentleman if there are actually people that are buried where they have the graves there, and he said there are actually people that are buried under the floor inside the parish. It was a tradition that was customary in England, and they decided when they came over here, they brought that tradition over here with them. So absolutely beautiful. I apologize now if the video is going to get a little shaky. My battery died on my GoPro. So I'm kind of shooting at the hip of my phone here, but yeah, beautiful parish. If you're ever here, make sure you check out the Brunton Parish. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just a lot of history. You don't need tickets to go in. It's by donation, and you just donate whatever you feel like donating to be able to go in, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna continue to walk around Williamsburg and see what else it has to offer. Right up there is the Governor's Palace, which is where we already were. I think now we're going to head over to the Peyton Randolph House. There's a lot of history there. This house here is pretty neat. It's the George Wythe House, which actually served as Washington's headquarters right before the siege of Yorktown. It's an awesome view of the Governor's Palace from here. There's a baby raccoon. That ain't good.
Oh, look at that. He's youngin'. He ain't rabid.
This is a pretty neat place. This is the George Tucker House, which was originally built here in 1719. And it was facing more of the Palace Green, but then later moved to this location here in 1788. Now it's just kind of like a reception center for the Colonial Williamsburg Donor Societies. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful home. Over here is the back of the courthouse. This house that you see right here is the Peyton Randolph House. It's big. For more than 50 years, this is the home of Peyton Randolph from 1721 to 1775. Who served the colony of Virginia in many of its highest governmental offices and became the first president of the Continental Congress. Definitely a big home. All right, well, I think it's going to wrap it up for this week's adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, we had an absolute blast today. I wish we would have got tickets, though. I do wish we would have got tickets. I feel like it probably would have broke the heat up a little bit, maybe. You know, just being able to get inside and explore some of these buildings. But, you know, if you like today's adventure, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to our channel. It is a huge help with us just starting out. And get some notifications on because we might be getting tickets and coming back.